So lads, welcome back to part, what is it, 38 of the Austin 10 special wrap. Happy New Year to you all. It's not actually New Year yet for me, but it will be by the time you see this. Ian! Right, on with Ian. Next job is to put all the ancillaries on, get the exhaust on, get the alternator on properly, and then I've got to fire this up. Because of the head gasket issue, this particular sort of head gasket has got a sealing strip around it. So what you have to do is fire it up for 50 seconds without revving it, just ticking over or whatever, and then turn it off, and then leave it overnight. And then once you've left it overnight, you fill it up with water and then treat it as normal. That's what it says online anyway, but I'm hoping that's going to work. And the first job is to put the starter motor back together again. Nice Christmas present, little soldering iron, some little clevis pins I got as well. So this starter, what I needed for it was new brushes. I need the soldering iron to solder the new brushes onto there. Right, there's the new brushes. Fortunately they fit. I also wanted to get a new bearing for in here. Now I went down to Solent Bearings and got this, but it doesn't even go in there. I could probably jam it in there, but, and also, unfortunately, it's like way big there, it's rattly there. I don't know what happened there, the guy measured it. Anyway, so I looked at this, and the actual wear in it wasn't on the ID. This ID is quite tight. The wear is on the OD. And look, you can see that bit of wiggle there. What I think I'm going to do is smother this in Loctite and then bung that into there, and that hopefully will take up the slack. It's not massive, but there's enough. Give Loctite a go and we'll see what happens. Loctite! Like me. Hope everyone had a nice Christmas and all that, and a good New Year's Eve. Well, we've absolutely smother it in it. We absolutely give it loads of it. We'll give in there some as well. Pop them into there. Right, I'm going to let that do its thing for half an hour. So I think now, put these brushes in. Right, this one looks easy, so I'm just going to wind this off of here. That was easy. In the end, I bought this off of eBay, and it was a different model starter, but it looked the same, so I took a chance, and I got lucky. I'm not getting very lucky with those nuts, perhaps they're metric. I bought this little soldering iron, but it needs filling up with gas. It's got a little lighter. You bang that and it heats it up. This got good reviews in America. It was called something different, but same bloke, different hat. But I've got to go and get some gas. It's a pain in the ass. It means I've got to walk up the shop. Alright, got some gas. Yeah, that's full. I don't know how hot that is. It's not hot enough yet. Let's give it full bore. It's getting hot, look. It's melting my fingers, look. Come on. Well, that didn't work. It's a bit disappointing. I thought that would have done it straight away. Right, this alternator cover is way too zinc and way too shiny, so I'm going to whip him off and de-rust proof him. That looks nastily clean, doesn't it? But it's good to have an alternator, because you don't have to worry about all the control boxes and all that nonsense. Look at that. Easy to get at them brushes, isn't it? Good soaking. Right, this alternator bracket is a bit snarly, so I'm going to give it a clean up. And looks a bit like I've welded it on there. But it is strong, you never bust that off. Not at the time I've got a hole in my arse. So I think I'm going to just give this a bit more of a curly, something around there, and then bang some holes down there. If you ever take the radiator off, you'll be able to see him. Well, that looks a bit better. And it's got a few holes down there that no one's ever going to see. First time the engine mounts would have been never done up properly. So I'm Loctating all of this just to make sure. Oh, how'd you like that, Ian? He's in there solid now. Okay, so it is New Year's Day now, and me, Sass and Sam have got a snifty on a bit of buried treasure. Now, my mate told me about this. He said there's something buried up in these woods. Well, we've never been to these woods. It's only just up the road, so we're gonna have a little mosey up there and see if we can find this buried treasure. This is a car. We don't know what sort of car. He said there's spokes coming out of the ground. But this is an old tip. It's obviously an old gravel pit which they dug out. But there's a lot of shit tipped up here. What are these? Oh, look at that. That's not a wheel.
Oh, is it not?
No. That's a fucking pulley.
Is it? Oh, it's a bit rusted.
What? I don't know what the fuck that is. It's off saying big. There's obviously more of it under the ground.
Oh yeah.
You look very glamorous in your...
My leopard pants.
In your leopard pants. Leopard pants. The big lump of water there. Look at that beautiful, beautiful English waterfall.
Is that Trolley Falls?
Trolley Falls. No, we've been down here, so what's that over there though? I think metal's sticking up. Oh, what the fuck is that? What is that? Oh, this is something. This has got a wheel on it. And it's got a shock absorber. Oh, fuck me, look, there's an axle there. Yeah. Okay, look what we got here. We have got, like, Morris Minor.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Morris Minor. I recognise this bit. Yeah. That's a moggy. Right, let's see what the axle is now. I bet it's Morris Minor too. I ain't got a prop on it though. If we could lift that up, it does look a very Morris. It looks a bit bigger though, to be honest. Brake drums look a bit bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 foot. I wonder if this is what he's on about. There's a bumper over there, look.
Might be, yeah. Look at that.
Oh, the leaf springs. Go on, grab that leaf spring, Sam. And... yeah, it's not Morris Minor. Look at the size of these brake drums. This is something else. That 1937 car we dug up didn't look nothing like this. This must be so much wetter down there.
Yeah.
It's not worth digging up, that ain't. Here's the bumper. What is it? No, this is a bit more of Morris Minor.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, it's the rest of this. It's a torsion bar suspension off the moggy. Well, there you go, that was a little bit disappointing. My mate Mark said there was spokes. There's a Citroen wheel down there. That's a Citroen 2CV wheel. That was hard to say walking along. There you go, there's a Citroen wheel. There might be a pair of them actually. Sally, is that any good to you? Right, as that soldering iron didn't work, I'm going to pop round Sean's because he says he's got a big one and get that soldered up there. It's handy having Sean just round the corner, and we borrow tools off each other all the time. And he's home most of the time. I'm not sure what Sean does for a living. I think he repairs those race things. Oh, mate! How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Look, I think I ain't got no room in my garage. It looks a lot tidier in here though, Mush.
Yeah, everything that was in here and now dumped in the trailer.
Well, that's alright, it's a shed, isn't it? Oh, it's alright in here, isn't it? Fucking wires in here, Mush.
Yeah.
What are you doing then?
So instead of having stalks,
Yeah.
there's my
Ah, yeah.
indicators and...
that's a good idea. There's a lot going on with this, isn't there?
Yeah.
Loads of bleeding wires. Should we go and have a cup of coffee?
Yeah,
Mush?
that's good.
Yeah, I think that's mostly important. So what do you do for a living, Sean?
Fix these.
Ah, that's what I thought you did. What are they called?
Those are transponders. Some of those are from a race track in France and some are from...
Oh, what, people send you them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is
the thing I'm working on, so that's the boost controller.
I'm glad I work with plugs and points. How much is one of these transducers worth then?
Transponder.
Transponder.
They sell, the second hand ones sell for about, of the yellow ones, about 200 quid.
Yeah.
and the red ones are about 400. So the yellow ones are for karting, and the red ones are for like circuit racing.
And they're 200 quid a man, are they?
The red ones are 400.
What's the blue one all about, man?
That's even higher speed. Cars that do over 180, I think.
Oh, because they're crossing the line quicker.
Yeah.
There you go, nice one, Sean.
No problem.
Thanks, mate. Well, I'm going to go home and put that together. While I was round Sean's, he also lent me these pair of bathroom scales. They're only old cheap ones and probably wildly inaccurate. He used to use them for weighing go-karts, and they go up to 120 kilos. So, how heavy is it going to be, this front end? This is kilos down the bottom. Make your guess. Here we go. Just about 80 a side. 160 kilos. Shall I do the back? We'll see how balanced it is at the moment. These are going to be, both the back wheels and the front wheels are going to be smaller, so let's see what this does. What do you reckon the back's going to be then, lads? What would I want it to be? If it's the same, would be nice. Straighten this out a bit. It's not quite there. There we go. You ready? Here we go. No way. Well, for some reason it says it's 90 on this side and 80 on that side. That's not bad for balance though, is it? It's pretty much bang on. Well, there you go. Just about 80 kilos on each corner. Now, I don't know how accurate that is. I think you'd need to do all the corners at once. I wanted 350 kilos curb weight. I'm going to be losing some weight and gaining some weight over the next couple of days. But these are going to be going, and these are so much heavier than those front ones. So you're going to have those skinnies, and these little fellas, I bought these the other day. These are little motorbike tyres, and both of them have got really good tread on. They come with a decent inner tube, 60 quid delivered. Can't argue with that. And it's going to bring the overall ride height down a little bit, front and rear, because those are about 3 inches shorter than this, so it's going to be on the floor a bit more, but I can live with that. Right, so that's the brushes done. Next job is to put this Bendix on. I've got a new one. I think it's called a Bendix, isn't it? I don't know what it's called. But anyway, I've got to put a new one. You can see the difference in it. Look, he's worn right down. Hoping this is the kiddie for the job. So I need to compress this. Now, I've tried a couple of different ways like I did before, but not with any luck. So what I'm going to do is make a spring compressor using these bus washers. These come off a bus somewhere. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that out there, weld that onto there, and then the same on this one. One go on the top, one go on the bottom, then put 2 bolts in either side and then compress it up. Snip. Got these bits of steel off of Baz again. Pop to the barber's mid-weld. Like that yellow paint at all. Right, that's the idea, except I put that one on the wrong hole, but I think it'll be alright. There you are, that's got it, so you just slip it over there. Okay, so I've had a parcel arrive and I'm excited about this. If this is what I think it is, this is going to be a bit of deja vu. And what we have in here, right, do you recognise that bit? That means in here. Look at that. Now I didn't buy this. This was kindly donated by Roger the bike, who thought I could do with another one. Now, this is actually better than the one I've got. Now, I got to see if this is the same size. I think it might be a different size. Hold on, stay there. Well, that's interesting. It's slightly bigger. But I'm wondering if I get another one of these and put it... Oh, look at that. What do you reckon? Because it's a bit bigger. If I just find another one of these and one at the back, because the reason I don't want to put lights on this was purely because of the weight, but that weighs nothing. I put a halogen bulb in there, it's going to handle the heat, and that'll give me some lights. Roger, what have you started here, Mush? But thanks ever so much, Roger. I'm going to go and put his name on the wardrobe now, because... Yeah, Roger. Right, while we're here, let's do the tip jar. Massive thanks to all the guys who went to the tip jar this week, and they are as follows: Jonathan Farrowell, James Kitson, Pierre 14, Michael Everson, Dan Ibbotson, Michael Howell, Chopper Trash, Martin Kay, Colin Jenkins, Stuart Franklin, and Kevin Creven. Thanks a lot, dudes, and thanks for all the lovely messages you left with it too. Now, there's going to be another t-shirt shootout in a couple of weeks, so keep your heads up for that. And talking of t-shirts, I was hoping to get the shop sorted for this week, but with Christmas and all that nonsense, it's took a bit longer. Who knew it'd be really hard work to set a shop up? But they should be available by the end of the week, and there's going to be a merch icon on the homepage. Anyway, we better get on with it. Right, what am I doing? So I tapped this out of here because I need to reduce the height of this, because it's just a little bit too long and it's binding the motor. But I tapped it out with a socket and took a good beat to get it out, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere using that old thread lock. See what was happening as you tighten this up, it was binding, and the only place I could take it out was on the old bush there, because that wasn't the exact bush for the job, so there's a good possibility it was longer than it should have been anyway. So I just got to carefully just take a bit, try it, take a bit, try it, and see what happens. I thought this was going to be simple, this starter motor, but it's actually been a right pain in the hoop. Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's it. Right, let's see what it does. What is that noise? It's alright, but it's making a bit of a noise. I wanted to get rid of that noise, but perhaps it'll go once I put it back together properly. Lube, I'm going to use a little bit of Vaseline in here because I think it wants some. Right, now, because I can't wait and I want to get this sorted today, I've got to make a snap ring for here. Now, what I'm thinking about using is one of these spring washers, but obviously it's sprung the wrong way. I called Ted last night to see if he had a snap ring down his place, but he didn't. But I told him the idea about using a spring washer, and he gave me a bit of guidance on how to get this to the shape I want and then retemper it to make it springy again. So I'm going to follow Ted's instructions. At the moment this doesn't fit in there, so what I'm going to do is cherry this and then flatten it. Right, there you go. So that now, just got to close that gap up a bit now. Right, it's a bit slimmer so it fits in a bit better. So the next stage is to heat this cherry and put it in that oil. Apparently that's hardened it. Handy little tool, this belt sander. It was only 75 quid as well. You can buy them for 125 quid, But the 75 quid ones, you got to strip down as soon as you get it and reassemble it because it's been assembled by like a 10-year-old or something. It's been bang on so far. Right, so now what I've got to do, now it's nice and shiny, I've got to heat this up till it goes blue and then chuck it back in the oil. It went blue really quickly. You can try and keep it blue for as long as possible. So there's the blue. Well, anyway, that went off pop. Look, it still looks blue. I'm assuming it's supposed to stay blue, because it has. Well, now, that should be springy. Well, this has wasted heaps of my time. I could have bought one for 60 quid, but this is a genuine Lucas one. And despite it being older, if I bought a new one, I don't think it'd last as long as this. Wasted a bit of time, but the thing is, I've always got this tool now. Right, is this going to fit down in that hole though? Is it bullet? That won't fit in there. Right, hopefully that'll fit in now. Right. Right, that looks as though it's in there, alright. Beautiful, man. Okay, I'm going to put this on now. Right, so I'm going to give it a quick go. Just try it out and see if it does work. Yes, bang on. Now what I need to do is connect this exhaust up and connect the carb up. So put that, look at that, that's better. There we go. You lads are a bit early. What a beautiful morning. And it's time to start this fella. If this holds up now, then my day will be complete. Not hinging on you, Ian. If it really doesn't work, if it still leaks again, I'm gonna take him out. Go and buy another engine. If I have to strip it down again, I'll lighten it up a bit more and I'll open it all up a bit more. Give it a little bit more work, but hopefully I won't have to do that. Tom's popped in with the torque wrench.
Hey,
It's only got to run for 30 seconds, isn't it?
I'll probably get you to the village that little bit there, won't it?
Yeah, probably would. Right, I'll get a battery.
Box. Those chilies coming out of the coil. Fucking hell.
Where is it? Oh yeah. Is it coming at me?
Yeah.
There we go. Starts easy, doesn't it?
Oh, that's plenty warm, isn't it?
Yeah. Turns out I didn't have the choke on properly, so as soon as I put the choke on it fired straight up, so I don't think we're going to have any issues. And we got the seconds in and it got warm. I'm going to leave that till tomorrow morning. And over the course of the day I'm going to get this set up properly, get rid of all this hocus pocus of temporary wires. Next job I'm going to do is finish off this alternator because the bottom's all good. I cleaned that up the other day. I found this new arm. It came off Susie. It ends up on the centre line of that down there, so instead of bolting off of here like I did last time, because I did a temporary off this bolt, what I'm going to do is make a bracket that comes up here and goes to there, probably make it out of 4mm, so then this can just bolt into it. There you go, that worked all right. That's all nice and solid in there now. He's got plenty enough adjustment in it. Just keeps it inside behind the rad so it ain't filling up with water all the time. I've been sitting around playing with these pedals and that, and what I found is the pedals are just not quite making it out far enough, especially the brake pedal. Right, I'm going to remake the brake, and I've got this bit of a jack handle or something which is the right size, so I'm going to straighten this bit out first. the first bend. Now I'm going to twitch it here and twitch it here so it makes a bit of a curve. Well, there you go, that should do it. Right, see, this has brought this a bit further forward now. Oh, that's better. Right, bus washer. Now this is really heavy, so you're going to be able to put plenty of grunt on this when you put your foot on the brakes. Alright, now I've got to do the same to the clutch. Now what I'm going to do for the minute is just extend this, because the clutch really doesn't take a lot of grunt, and I like that clutch pedal. So what I'm going to do is lock that off there and just extend that. And just for the minute I'm going to weld that bit onto there, and then weld that bit onto there. I know it's a bit Eve Robinson, but it's just for the minute, and I'm going to get a bit of better steel. Right, what I think I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put a little tack on them just to hold them into place. I don't think this bolt works very well, it seems to move around a lot. But that is a lot better. It gives me acres more room. Right, for the throttle linkage I'm going to use this original Austin 10 linkage, what was left of it. So what I think I'm going to do first is I'm going to position this through a couple of holes, and with these two brackets bolt it on and get it into place and get it looking like where it should be, and then I'm going to work at it. That works really well. What I've decided I'm going to do, I'm going to weld a piece like this up here with a hole in it to take the cable. So I've got this push bike cable off one of the bikes over on the field, and it's just the right length. So what I plan to do is put a cut in it and then put a slot that side, so this comes in and sits in the slot. Right, there we go. Right, I'm going to take a chance on this because I think that's about the size it's got to be, so I'm going to just tack that onto there. Okay, so this throttle comes up here like this. The only place I think I'm going to be able to make a bracket off this nut here, so if I make it flat there and curl it round so it just pulls into there, and then it'll come down and go into the bulkhead. There's not a great deal of room in here for the bolt. So there it is, up and down like that. But that'll do for the minute. I'm not actually going to be keeping this carburetor forever. This is just going to be a temporary for the minute, but for the moment it'll do for setting up, because what I'm planning on putting on here is a pair of twin Amels, the old British motorcycle carbs. I can put a pair of them on there, make up a manifold, but that can be later on. Well, I'm going in now to get the fire on, and we'll come back out here in the morning. Right, I'm connected up. I don't want to get too hung up on this carb. Now, I made this just on chance. That is at full chap. And look at that, I've run out of throttle. Bit more luck than judgment, but okay. So I found this little bit off a motorbike. It was off the handlebars of something, off a cable, and I've taken the original cable out, and it slots over my push bike cable nicely, and this will give me a bit of adjustment. It looks something like that, you see. But what I'm going to have to do now is drill a little hole and put a bolt in there, and that'll just hold that secure. Now I can adjust this on here as well. Right, I've bolted this alternator up now, and it's way more solid now. It's got that big bit of 5mm for a strap, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Right, so that's where I've got to this week, lads. I've got Ian fired up again. Over the next couple of days I'm going to try and get him all tuned up and see what happens there. At this point, if you're not subscribed, make sure you do, because you don't want to miss any of the fun, and it's just starting to get juicy. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like and a comment. You know I always read every single one, and I answer every single one as well. If you're feeling flush, bung me a couple of quid in the tip jar, and I'll catch you dudes with that yoke in there going up the road next time. Hang loose. I got a horrible feeling Ian isn't very well.